A lifetime that passes without enlightenment is like a lotus that has not blossomed though it has been in a lotus pond all summer. Mahavatar Babaji. People often think of enlightenment as something far away, reserved for hermits in the Himalayas. The immortal master of the Himalayas pointed out that enlightenment is not a gift of the future. Enlightenment is a state you can enter in this very breath, this very life. Enlightenment is a return to yourself, the realization that your deepest self is not limited by body, mind, or memory. Enlightenment is the realization that you are not your passing thoughts, nor are you stories of the past, but a silent mirror that reflects everything untainted. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna told Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, "You are not this body, you are not this mind. You are the eternal soul, which has never been born and will never die." Ramana Maharshi also reiterated this truth in a simple yet penetrating way. Ask, "Who am I?" And when all the answers from memory, identity, profession, gender, beliefs fall away, what remains is pure presence, that is the true self. Why is this life special? Babaji said, there are souls who have gone through hundreds of lives in preparation for a single moment, the moment of realizing the truth. If you are reading these words, you may be one of them. Today, the earth is in a phase of increased vibrational frequency unprecedented in human history. The wise call this the shift to 5D consciousness, where people are becoming more aware of the unity of all life. This allows those who are ready to become enlightened more quickly, even while living in the mundane world. Sign 1. Thirst for truth. Nature. This desire is like an undercurrent that burns through all other priorities in life, an inner urge so intense that you would rather lose everything than lose the chance to find truth. In the Indian tradition, it is called Mumukshutva, the deep desire for liberation. In Buddhism, it is Savega, a mental shock of realizing the impermanence of life and the urgency of liberation. Ramana Maharshi said, "The question 'Who am I?' is the torch that leads straight to liberation." Desire is the fuel that keeps this torch burning, day after day. The telltale sign. You feel an invisible void despite achieving fame, money, or love. Success does not fill that void. Many times, an invisible force forces you to leave your old path, your job, your habits, your relationships, and embark on a journey of discovery. You are chosen by books, teachings, or strange encounters that take your life in a different direction. When you are in silence, you feel a sweet pain, the pain of knowing that life is finite, but the sweetness of knowing that something greater awaits. Manifestations in everyday life. No longer interested in collecting teachings as intellectual trinkets, you want to experience them directly. Willing to sacrifice safety and comfort to follow your inner calling. There are sleepless nights or mornings when you wake up feeling changed. Practice to nourish and verify. One question session, 15 to 30 minutes/day. Sit still, ask who is thirsty, or who am I? When your mind wanders, gently return to the question. Do this for 40 days and you will feel a shift within. Desire journal, record every time you feel the urge to search. After a month, you will see a map of this desire. Cut the noise, spend 1 day a week without social media, news, or entertainment. This space will fuel the fire of desire. Pitfalls to avoid. Spiritual materialism, collecting high-level experiences to feed the ego. True desire is humble and not boastful. Escape from reality, wanting enlightenment to avoid facing responsibility. If your journey does not make you more compassionate and clear, reconsider. Sign 2. Spontaneous non-attachment. The nature of letting go. Letting go is not apathy or resignation to life, but the relief that comes from letting go of your hand. It is when you live and act with fullness, but do not let the results of your actions tie your mind. Babaji said, "Live and act, but do not let the results tie your mind." This letting go is the result of understanding that everything is impermanent and that attachment is only a rope that binds us to suffering. Subtle signs and manifestations. When you lose something that was once very important to you, a relationship, a job, or a possession, you are no longer deeply shaken. Instead, there is a quiet, peaceful acceptance. Between an upsetting event and your reaction, there is a gap. That gap is where wisdom can step in, allowing you to choose a response instead of reacting out of habit. Major life changes are less dramatic. You bounce back quickly and adapt easily to the new, no longer clinging to the old. You can love without possessing, help without expecting anything in return. Practices to strengthen letting go. Conscious giving. Each week, give an item of sentimental value to someone who deserves it. Then, observe your emotions. If you feel peace and relief, that is a sign that letting go is growing. The 3-minute pause technique. When strong emotions arise, stop. Take 4 breaths in, 4 breaths out. Just observe the emotions without judging or reacting. Repeat 21 times. You will see the grip dissolve and peace return. Practice karma yoga. Do something for others or the community completely unconditionally. Put your whole mind into the action and let the results come naturally. This helps you detach yourself from the results, strengthening the letting go. Pitfalls to avoid. Pretending to let go, appearing calm on the outside, but still holding on to resentment, longing, or regret inside. True letting go is peace from the inside out. Letting go is indifference. Letting go does not mean losing compassion. True letting go still acts from love and understanding. Enlightenment is the union of wisdom and compassion. Sign 3. The emergence of witnessing consciousness, Sakshi. The nature of witnessing consciousness. This is not a special spiritual state or a skill to display, but a re-recognition of your own inherent nature, the seer. Enlightenment is not about creating a new mind, but about moving from being caught up in what is seen, thoughts, emotions, to becoming the knowing space, the seer, a still space that is aware of all phenomena without identifying with them. When witnessing becomes constant, you live from the very source of awareness, not from the reactions created. Subtle signs of recognition. When a strong emotion arises, you no longer identify with it. Instead of saying, "I am angry," you can recognize there is a feeling of anger present. This subtle detachment opens a door to freedom. Moments of deep stillness arise naturally without having to be sought. Time seems to stretch out, and you feel more present than ever. Important life decisions are no longer the result of anxiety or hasty reactions, but are made from a deep silence after all thoughts have subsided. You begin to see your repetitive behaviors, habits, old reactions as an outsider, without judgment, and can change them easily. Practice to hone your witnessing. 10-minute witnessing meditation every morning. Sit still, close your eyes, and simply observe your thoughts, emotions, sensations like clouds drifting across the sky. Don't try to control or judge them, just gently name them and let them pass. Witnessing body scan. Scan each part of your body, from head to toe. Whenever you notice a sensation, tension, relaxation, itching, silently say there is a feeling of tension and breathe gently. This practice helps you to detach from the sensation and realize its impermanent nature. Core question: when an old reaction is about to arise, stop and ask, who is aware of this? Hold this question as a torch. It will bring you back to the source of awareness. Pitfalls to avoid. Becoming a cold observer. True witnessing must lead to compassion, not apathy or indifference. If observing makes you alienated from others, you are mistaken. Turn witnessing into a new identity. Don't say I am the witness or I have achieved witnessing. The purpose of witnessing is to dissolve all identities, not to replace them with new ones. Sign 4. Deepening intuition. The nature of intuition. When the mind is quiet and the witness is clear, the inner wisdom, buddhi, has the space to speak. Intuition is not magic, but the silent voice of wisdom. It is a fusion of deep understanding and love, guiding you with certainty without the need for long-winded logic. True intuition does not shout, it is simply present and clear. Subtle signs of recognition. The right decisions come without confusion. You know what to do, not because you have overthought it, but because it comes from an inner certainty. Small hunches in everyday life are often accurate. You rarely regret the choices you make based on intuition. Intuition never promotes greed, fear, or selfishness. On the contrary, it always brings a sense of peace, openness, and compassion. Practice to hone your intuition. Weekly mini experiment. Choose a small action, e.g. which road to take, what food to eat, based entirely on your intuition and record the results. This helps you build trust in your inner voice. Silence before decisions. Before making an important choice, spend 24 to 72 hours in a short meditation each day, without seeking outside opinions. Listen to the answer that naturally arises from within. Gut check. Pay attention to your body's physical reactions. A feeling of opening in the chest, relaxation in the abdomen is often a sign of intuition. A feeling of tightness or tension is often a sign of fear or greed. Pitfalls to avoid. Mistaking intuition for desire. Desire often disguises itself as a gut feeling. Ask yourself, does this intuition reduce fear and greed? Or does it activate them? Lazy thinking. Intuition is most powerful when combined with analytical intelligence. Don't be lazy and replace logic with intuition. Both need to go hand in hand. Sign 5. Unconditional, non-dual love. The nature of unconditional love. This is not a romantic feeling or a personal attachment, but a deep awareness that a single thread of life flows through all forms. It is the ability to see your own essence in every other person, in a loved one, in a stranger, even in someone who has hurt you. This love needs no proof or conditions, it is simply the presence of being. Subtle signs. You forgive easily not because your mind tries to rationalize, but because you see the actions of others as mere phenomena, separate from their core nature. The happiness of others makes you happy as if it were your own happiness. The pain of others makes you feel it as if it were your own pain, but you are not broken. Compassion arises naturally. When you see someone suffering, you do not judge, but instead have a natural urge to act to relieve that pain. Practices to cultivate love. Meditation, loving kindness meditation. Start by sending love and kindness to yourself, then to a loved one, to a neutral person, to someone you feel uncomfortable with, and then to the whole world. Non-judgmental listening. Every day, spend 15 to 30 minutes just listening to another person completely, without giving advice, without judging. Your healing silence is an act of love. Silent service. Perform an act of kindness, help someone without anyone knowing, without needing recognition. The silence of the action is the measure of the sustainability of compassion. Pitfalls to avoid. Selflessness that loses its boundaries. Loving and helping at the expense of self is not true love. Unconditional love is respecting yourself and others equally. Love for show. If your loving actions are only for praise and recognition, it is the ego dressed in compassion. Check by the silence and persistence of the action. Enlightenment section, from signs to the real journey. 1. Why the 5 signs are not the destination. Many people, after reading or realizing that they have some signs, immediately feel I am close to enlightenment. But Babaji often reminds, recognizing the path is not yet walking on the path. The scent of the lotus is not yet the blossoming of the lotus. The 5 signs are like a door that is slightly opened. But if you just stand and look at the crack of light, it will only be a flash. To go through, 3 additional factors are needed. Sadhana, continuous spiritual practice maintaining the methods of meditation, self-reflection, and selfless service. Shakti, life force raising the vibrational frequency through breath, sound, and environment. Satsang, connecting with awakened minds to nourish and maintain the flame of awakening. 2. The leap from seeker to dweller in truth. Ramana Maharshi said, "There is no such thing as enlightenment. There is only the removal of that which covers your enlightened nature." This means you do not need to accumulate anything to become enlightened, but to peel off the layers of illusion. When the 5 signs appear, it means the covering is thin. But there are still unconscious habits, vasanas, that need to be seen. Babaji shows very clearly. Watch every automatic reaction, that is where the ego is rooted. Continuously ask who is reacting. As Ramana taught, move from reaction to response, a sign of living intelligence. 3. The present age and the acceleration of enlightenment. There is an interesting fact that Babaji once revealed to some of his disciples. We are living in a time when the enlightenment support energy is many times stronger than in previous centuries. The reason: the earth frequency, Schumann resonance, is changing, thinning the barrier between individual consciousness and universal consciousness. The collective consciousness is experiencing a saturation of material illusion, causing many to seek the beyond. Increased knowledge exchange, the teachings of enlightened beings have never spread so easily as they do now. This means, if you have 5 signs, your ability to become enlightened in this lifetime is much higher than in the past, but only if you really step into the practice and live fully. 4. Unified practice, from theory to each moment. Now we connect all the signs into a single practice cycle, so that each day you both nurture and verify the growth of your consciousness. Morning introspection. 20 minutes of silent meditation, observing the breath, asking who is breathing. 5 minutes of unconditional love, metta. Set an intention: today, I live as a loving witness. Midday, mindful action. When making a decision, try stopping for 30 seconds to listen to your intuition. Whenever you feel strong emotions, practice pausing for 3 minutes before reacting. Evening, self-reflection. Write down 3 things you let go of during the day. It could be an emotion, a thought. Record 1 moment when you acted from unconditional love. Thank yourself for keeping the flame of desire alive. 5. 3 key questions Babaji recommends asking yourself every day. Am I putting truth above everything else? Am I acting from love, without discrimination? Am I living each moment as if it were my last breath? Babaji said, if you live each day with these 3 questions, you will have taken the shortest path to enlightenment. 6. The last look: this life is not wasted. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, not a single step on the spiritual path is lost, not even the smallest one. So, if you recognize the 5 signs, consider this a wake-up call. It doesn't matter what age, status, or circumstances you are in. What matters is, you have heard the call and whether you have answered it or not. Mahavatar Babaji once said to a disciple, "You can lose everything and still have the truth, but if you lose the truth, you will lose everything." Namaste.